The Chicago Bears cannot afford to sleep on Marcus Mariota. I'm going to tell you why coming up on Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. This is Bears Now by Chat Sports. Bears, Commanders coming off the bye week. Bears currently a 3-point favorite. We're filming this Thursday night, so we don't have a final resolution to Jayden Daniels' status. But if he does not play, it is going to be Marcus Mariota getting the start for Washington. And coming into this year, you would have been like, Marcus Mariota might be one of the worst backups in the league, because if anybody watched that Netflix documentary, Quarterback, when he was with the Falcons, didn't play that well. I don't want to say quit on the team, but kind of quit on the team at the end of the year. Goes to Philly, was not viewed highly in that locker room and as a backup quarterback. But he has a history of playing, and last week at least, he looked pretty damn good. I get it's against the Panthers, but pretty efficient game, right? 18 of 23, couple of touchdowns, can still run. That's one thing that still is there. Now, he puts himself in harm's way. He's got a history of getting hurt, so keep that in mind as well. But from what I saw him, from what I've gone back and watched, looked pretty solid. Now, Kingsbury kept it pretty simple for him. The Panthers' defense is atrocious, and they've had a ton of injuries, so it's not like you're going up against the 85 Bears. But still, like, give credit where it's due. He plugged in and did what you want out of your backup. He did not lose the game for you. He played well, and obviously they dominated, but Carolina sucks. But if he played like that against good defenses, they wouldn't have scored 40, but they would have had a chance to win the game. And ultimately, that's what you want out of your backup. And if you're the Bears, you can't afford, if, let's say, Jayden Daniels is ruled out before kickoff, like, oh, this is easy, this is a cakewalk. Like, no, you're still going to have to show up and play against this quarterback. Be honest, are you worried about Marcus Mariota? Type Y for yes, type in for no. All this being said, I'm not worried about him. I'm just saying he still is capable, whereas sometimes a backup enters the game. Like if you watched the Browns last week with Dorian Thompson-Robinson, it was clear after about 3 passes, like, okay, he is terrible. He cannot play at all. Mariota can play a little bit. He's a little hot and cold, but when he's on, he can make some things happen. All right, let's go through some things here. Don't sleep on Mariota. Number one, the offense doesn't really change. Now, that doesn't mean, you're going to call every single play that you would normally call for Jayden Daniels, but what Daniels does well, Mariota does as well, just not as well as Jayden does, right? Like, there's going to be quick hitters in this offense with Kingsbury. We'll get to him in a second. They'll take their deep shots every once in a while. I think Mariota hit a couple last week. And the QB run game will be a part of it. They will dial up some RPOs, which is either a handoff or a throw, but they will also dial up some zone reads, especially in the red zone if they get down there. So just because Daniels is out doesn't mean they're going to – you can't afford to not utilize Mariota's legs, because if you just call a game for him as a pocket guy, you're not going to be successful. So I would imagine the whole playbook would be open for him. Number 2, Cliff works well with dual threat guys. Like throughout his career, going back to Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, going to Caleb Williams at USC last year, going to Kyler Murray, now Jayden Daniels, Marcus Mariota. Like, he likes guys that can move because A, their legs are a safety net if a play breaks down, and B, he will call plays utilizing a quarterback's legs. He'll get them on the move. He'll call some designed runs, boots, all that stuff. So Cliff is not going to be uncomfortable calling this game with Marcus Mariota. Whereas if 37-year-old Matt Ryan was the backup, it's like, well, he's a statue. He can't move at all. That would be a different thing that you're facing. So I don't think you can just look at this like, oh, well, no Jayden. I mean, Mariota's not going to be able to do any of that. He actually can do a lot of the same things, just not as efficiently and not as well at the end of the day. All right, more on Mariota here in just a sec. Today's show is sponsored by Mando. Smell better for longer with all of Mando's products, including the whole body deodorant here. You can lather this on before you go on a long workout. It's going to keep you odor-free for up to 72 72 hours. Think about what you could do over 3 days without having to worry about your BO. I mean, you go on all kinds of benders. You could go on a couple of jogs. It's amazing what you could do with that amount of time. I love all their products. I also like the deodorant wipes, which are very easy to transport, use on the move. I like to play golf sometimes on my days off. And if I don't have time to run home and shower, I'll just lather myself down with their wipes, and I am good to go. Mando is clinically proven to control odor for up to 72 hours, depending on the product. It's safe for your entire body, your pits, your package, your feet, and yes, everywhere in between. It'll stop odor before it starts, and it's available in 4 cologne quality scents: Bourbon Leather, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, and Clover Wood. So don't be the smelly guy in your group anymore. Check out Mando's products today, including the starter pack, which comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and much more. New customers are going to get $5 off the starter pack with code chat at shopmando.com. That's code chat at shopmando.com. Take advantage of that discount. That equates to over 40% off of the starter pack. It's time to smell better naked, fellas. Your partner will thank you. That link is in the comments and in the description. All right, keep it rolling here. Mariota's done well against the Bears. He's 2-0 against Chicago, and by the way, with 2 different teams, and I want to give Kevin Fishbane a shout-out here of The Athletic. The only other quarterback who has won 3 games against the Bears with 3 different teams, at least in like recent history, maybe it happened a long time ago, Brock Osweiler, of all people, did it with the Broncos, Texans, and Dolphins. I got to be honest, I don't even remember him playing for the Dolphins, but he beat Vic Fangio 3 times, which is pretty amazing. Marcus Mariota's got a chance to do the same, so let's not let that happen again. Back in 2016, when the Titans played the Bears, you see the numbers there: 15 of 23, 226, couple of touchdowns, rushed for 46 yards as well, really good passer rating. A couple of years ago against the Falcons, which is actually the last game he has won as a starter, 13 of 20, didn't throw for a ton of yards, but threw for a touchdown, rushed for a touchdown, passer rating over 100, ran around a little bit as well. He's done well. Like, he has performed well against this Bears defense on a couple of occasions with 2 different teams, and he's been in a lot of different offenses, a lot of different coaching staffs. Like, give him credit for this. He has found a way to stick around the NFL and stay relevant, so he's not going to be intimidated by going into this matchup. And that brings us to the last point. He's a very experienced NFL starter. He's been a backup for a while now, but he started 74 games in his career. Like, in his career, like, these are real numbers. These are not just like, oh, he's a bad backup for 12 years and stuck around because he's good in the QB room like Nathan Peterman or something like that. Like, the accuracy is, hit and miss, but we know he's dual threat, over 2,000 rushing yards, 17 rushing touchdowns, all of that. He's 34-40 in 74 career starts. This is not some guy who wins 30% of his starts, just under 50%. He beat the Chiefs and Alex Smith in a playoff game several years ago with the Titans. Like, this guy has played and won big games throughout his career. I'm not saying all this to terrify you of Marcus Mariota. I'll just say I was a little guilty of when they signed him. Like, oh my God, Mariota, he's a joke. I watched him play last week, and I don't care who he was playing against. He looked at least competent. So, again, with the way Cliff calls offense, it's QB friendly, his dual threat ability. You can't just show up and expect to win. Like, you're going to have to be locked in and assume this is a high-level starter. And the good news is, if you do that, and I'll tell you some things the Bears need to do defensively, you should win this game. I don't want to say easily, but comfortably. But don't just show up and roll over, because you will lose to Marcus Mariota if you do that. Subscribe and join us for our Bears Commanders watch party live on Sunday at 2 o'clock Central Time. Long pregame, getting you ready for 3:25 kickoff. We'll keep tabs of the noon games as well. So rock and roll with us here on Chicago Bears Now. Should be a fun day. All right, so what the Bears must do to not lose to Marcus Mariota if he starts? Well, your pass rush lanes need to be disciplined. That includes Jayden Daniels, obviously, as well. Like, you got to rush with intensity, but with discipline. Like, don't overcrack inside. If they're running zone read action, don't get caught at the mesh point. Like, stay in your rush lanes. Like, this isn't a game where you need to feel like you need to get 6 sacks. It's more important to, like, keep him contained in the pocket. Don't let him get don't flush him out, and make him uncomfortable. And if you make him a pocket passer for this game and he throws for 3 bills against you, so be it. I'll trust this secondary, even if a couple guys are down, to make sure that doesn't happen. Number 2, you got to stop the running backs. And the Bears have been very hit and miss this year. Their last game out, they shut down the Jags. Joe Mixon and the Texans week 2 shut them down. Every other game, run defense has been kind of average. So don't let Brian Robinson, don't let Austin Eckler get 4, 5, 6 yards a carry. I think Robinson's at 4.7 per carry this year. He's been pretty damn good. You got to keep him in check. I'm not saying completely shut him down, but let's keep him under 4.1, 4.2 yards per carry. Let's get him below his average. And then take away Terry McLaurin. Jalen Johnson doesn't always shadow the entire game, and I'm not saying he has to here, but if Terry gets a couple of catches early, if he's on Tyreek Stevenson or something like that, just put Jalen on him and take him away. Terry might get a catch or two on him, but Jalen Johnson's going to win that matchup more often than not. Make the other guys beat you. Luke McCaffrey, De'Ami Brown, backs out of the backfield catching the football. If you just rush with discipline, slow down the running game, and don't let their number one guy go nuclear, at the end of the day, it is Marcus Mariota. If you play with intention, you should be able to win this game. I don't want to say easily, but you're clearly the better team, especially without Jayden Daniels. Okay, predict the score. Bears, Commanders, who wins? What is the final score going to be? I said if it's Jayden Daniels, I got Bears 28-24. If it's Marcus Mariota, I'm going to go 28-17. I think the Bears end up pulling away in the second half of this one. If it's Mariota, what say you? Drop your score predictions in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe and join us for our watch party on Sunday. We'll have a couple of videos between now and then as well. Bear down. We will see you guys soon.